everybody.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the Twin Life podcast, and where we talk about all things about twins and our life and lifestyle
Families and
family and all the things. If you haven't already, please hit the bell, subscribe, let everybody know that you love us and share us, and also get alerted whenever we have a new episode. We love to have you part of the family. So with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and just jump right into recording today. Get it all done. All right. Hey, twin.
What's up, twin?
How are you doing?
I'm good.
How's it going in Atlanta?
It's good. It's been raining this week, which is a little bit of a bummer.
I would take rain.
Well, yeah, I guess rain over fires.
Well, yeah, that and the fact that it's freaking a billion degrees. So, like, Phoenix and I went to the pool yesterday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was already 88 degrees.
That is doing too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that because that's super hot for San Diego. But here it's like it'll be 88 degrees and feel perfectly fine if it's just rained. Because it like the temperature drops like super drastically when it rains here.
Yeah.
So, and then like after that it's like 88, but it's like a nice, like not super thick and like humid 88.
Yeah.
And the summer doesn't really last like as intensely long as it does in Southern California, where you feel like this, you're like, what's summer, spring, when it comes into summer? Winter, yes. Fall. There we go. It's like, there's a whole fall. It feels like summer lasts forever, and you're like, but that's kind of how it is in California, where it goes from summer to winter. You don't really get fall. Like you don't really notice that the leaves are falling. You don't like see the gradual change in temperature. Like no, it's just like hot as hell and then cold one day, and you're like,
you'll have to take pictures of the Atlanta trees for me because they change. It's so pretty when they change.
Yeah. I want you guys to come for Thanksgiving. That'd be really dope if you guys can. And plane tickets are ridiculously inexpensive. So y'all really don't have an excuse.
Yeah. So I kind of have like puppy fever now because I found, and I will make this a did you see. So we'll move on into did you see. There is an Instagram that I saw, and I will try to figure out what it's called. We'll put it in the show notes when I find it. But it's Instagram about Labradors. Oh my goodness gracious, twin. Like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've already seen me posting, and Derek's like, babe, you're getting a little bit ridiculous posting all these Labradors. But, like, when they have, like, a mate or, like, a sibling with them, they're, like, so cute. They're always, like, hugging them and sleeping on them, and, like...
You don't even really like dogs.
Dude, I literally was, like, looking at this dog, like, we need to get Sansa a friend. Like, she needs some, like, what if she's just so lonely? Like, all these Labradors seem so happy when they're, like, in a pack of other Labradors. And, like, honestly, it might be, like, less stressful for us because, one, Sansa's trained to the point now that I can walk with her. So, like, she can teach another dog how to walk properly. That's the first thing. The second thing is tire each other out. Just run around and tire each other out, you know? But to be honest, I don't really want a puppy. Puppies are way too much freaking work. And it's going to be me doing it because I'm here the most, you know? And I like that I only walk Sansa. I'm responsible for at least one walk a day. I'm happy with that, one walk a day. I don't want like 8 walks. No.
Yeah, I would say that the good thing about female dogs are just notoriously super difficult to potty train because it's not a natural instinct for them to like spray and mark things. So with boy dogs, it's so much like Copper, honestly, like we had him pretty much potty trained by like 4 months. Like he would have accidents, but a lot of times it was just like a rhythm of like us getting like of him letting us know when he has to go to the bathroom and us not ignoring it because he's a very vocal dog. So it's not like he's just like running off into a corner and going like he'll have whined for like an hour. We'll be like, oh my God, Copper, stop whining, shut up. And then we'll look on the floor and he's peed and he's like, he was literally, yesterday this happened. Like, Blake and I were just doing stuff around the house, and he just would not. He's been whining a lot since we got the cat. So we were just like, Copper, will you just please shut up? And I came out here, and I was like, there's pee on the floor, and I was just like, Copper, seriously?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he's been whining for an hour. Like, we should have taken him like downstairs. And then so he did that, but then I couldn't find him. I was like, where'd he go? And he was laying in the front, like the front door. Just literally laid down at the front door. And I was just like,
oh, poor puppy.
Yeah. So I'm just like, but it's, I mean, like in a condo, you're not going up and down stairs, but you have to like go out to the elevator, then go downstairs, then go walk outside to the dog park, and then back inside, back up to, like, it's not, and Blake does it. I don't do it. Every time I offer it, he like says, he's like, no, I'll do it. I'm like, okay. But it's a pain in the ass to do. It's a pain to walk a dog that like throughout the day like that. So, which is the reason why we appreciate our cat so much. But cats, you can leave out food and water because they have their litter box. Yeah. So you're gonna want to get.
I told Derek, I was like, it'd be so nice if we get a puppy and just have it for like 6 months as a puppy and then like make it grow to like age 3. Like, because Sansa is just like so much better. But this is the thing too. Derek, I think he wants his family has a German Shepherd. And I've seen a lot of really, really well-behaved German Shepherds. Like, German Shepherds are like the smartest dogs. Like, you send them off to doggy boot camp, you get them back, and they are like military, like they're like the dog version of like a Marine. Like, they will not do anything unless you tell them. So, and they're not like whiny, barky dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe like, and they're really good with kids, obviously German Shepherds. So I was thinking maybe, but I was like, I don't want a freaking 100-pound dog. Like,
yeah, you guys should wait until you move into, because like, I'm just thinking like, it would be, and I know people do it because there's people that like all the apartments that we like, people always have 2 dogs. And we even thought like, we were thinking about adopting a second cat because like cats kind of need like a buddy. Like, we should get 2 kittens, which honestly having 1 cat is really no different than having 2 cats because they don't need any more attention. They need way less attention when there's 2.
If you're not allergic, yeah, there's no difference.
There's no difference because I'm not allergic. Neither of us are. It's fine. So it's fine. Like, we literally don't notice. Honestly, we don't really notice him. He's just like, every once in a while we'll see, oh, there's a kitty. Like, I don't know. I literally don't know where he is. I think he's probably under the bed. He started to come out a little bit more and be more playful. And Copper's actually been super good with him. Like, he hasn't been like crazy vicious or whatever, or like jumping on him or trying to eat him. Like, he's really just been like trying to snuggle him and like just lick on him all the time. And like, which is just so annoying. Blake and I, it annoys us because we're just like, that is annoying. Please stop. And the cat was just laying there. And we're just like, all right, I guess if that's fine with you, then we're just not. And the cat will hiss or he'll paw Copper. So I really feel like if Copper wanted to eat him, he would have eaten him by now.
Yeah, it'd have been, you would know already.
Yeah, it'd have been done.
But dogs, they have like a natural instinct to want to protect like baby animals. Anyways.
That's what I said to Blake. I was like, I don't want to get a cat because cats already have their own like personalities. They're already defensive. So if Copper wanted to play with the cat, like, this cat's fully grown with claws, like it could hurt him just because he wants to play with him. So Blake was like, I'm not trying to have a one-eyed dog and a dead cat, like, so that's why it was super important to me to get a kitten. So I think if you guys want to get a dog, I would get a puppy.
Yeah,
I'm just really weird. I know that's terrible because people are like, adopt the dogs, and I was like, no, when you have kids and you have another dog, it's just better. It's safer, I feel like, to adopt a puppy.
I wish they had like toy Labradors.
They do. Sure. I'm sure they do.
Like Labrador mixed with something small. I mean, I know they have like Labradoodles, but Labradoodles
are big.
They're mixed with the standard poodle. Okay, so we're gonna move on from the dog conversation because I feel like we could talk about dogs all the time.
So did you see?
Yeah, but I actually have another. That one just kind of like came to me spontaneously. But I actually have a cat one that I was thinking about. So there's this app called Libby that is mom talking about this app? No, Quibi. Not Quibi. Oh. Libby.
What's Libby?
So Libby, and this hashtag not sponsored. Libby is an app that connects you to your public library, and you can like rent digital versions of your books and audiobooks through this app for free. Oh yeah, sounds too good to be true, but it is not because I've been using it for the past week, and I got an alert on my phone that Michelle Obama's book Becoming is out, and it's narrated by her, and I just love her voice. It's like so calming. So I was like, I really want to listen to this book. So I got an alert today. It said it was going to be like I don't know, 7 weeks or something because the book just came out, but I guess somebody returned one. So yeah, I started.
So, but what happens? So you check it out like you would a physical book, and so if you check it out, nobody else can listen to it.
So the way Mom says it is like they have so many digital copies that can be downloaded at a certain time, and then once they hit that mark, then you have to wait. I guess basically. Okay. And in the physical book, you download like the digital version. You read the book, and then you return it. And you can also, like, if no one's waiting on the book, I think you can like renew. But if somebody's waiting on the book, then you need to like get through the book so that it can return. So I have 14 days to listen to Becoming. It's a 20-hour listen. So
yeah,
that's quite a bit of listening to get done in 14 days. But I don't know. I think, but I just all the time, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, damn, I ran out of podcasts, you know. So I think that it started off really, really good. She has some lines that she says that are just like very poignant. She says there's one line in the intro of the book where she talks about how people used to call her an angry Black woman, and she says, what part of that offends you the most? That I'm Black, that I'm a woman, or that I'm angry? Like, what part offends you the most? I was like, that's just so powerful. Like, I was like, oh, geez. This is like the first, 4 pages of the book, and I'm already just like, yes, what part does offend you? Like, you know? So, yeah, I was getting all hype. And then she says because it's in her voice, like,
you really
can
get to
hear
feel
yeah, you could feel her and hear her intention. And so she makes a comment about, she's like, we went from being in she remembers a moment where she remembers getting in the limo and going to the White House, and then recently she remembers getting in the limo with the new Vice President Ivanka Trump and going to the inauguration. And I was just like that must have been so weird. Like get out of my house. Yeah, and she said looking at looking back at their experience and being in the White House. Anyways, it's really so far it's amazing, which I didn't think I'm not usually one of those people. I'm not a big nonfiction person. But I was like, I guess if I'm going to consume nonfiction, an audiobook is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But it just has to be a voice I like. So Becoming, Michelle Obama, if you haven't already, download the Libby app so you can get it for free and you can listen to the audiobook and then just return it. Just like your library. So support your libraries. So yeah, it's really cool. Libby is that. So yeah, sweet.
I'm gonna have to do that because that sounds awesome. Because I've heard so many good things about the book. There's also the Becoming documentary on Netflix too, right?
Yeah, there is, and you can get kids books too. So I like that too because sometimes I see a kid's book and I'm like, well, I need to read this book to see if I want to read it to my son hundreds of times because that's how many times I'll read it. So I can download the book, borrow the book, read it, and I'm like, oh, this is a good book, and I can.
There's definitely books that I'll see we'll go to book what's it called?
Barnes and Noble.
I was going to say Brookstone. They don't have Brookstones anymore. Barnes and Noble, and we'll sit and look at these books, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to want to read this 100 times. I'm like, oh, this is such a great book. I mean, honestly, what's weird is a lot of the books that I get for Landon are all books that I can read to him at night. So that a lot of them are bedtime routine and nighttime themed. Yeah. But I think that's just because I want to until it's until he gets 4 years old, we're being Bean's age, where it's now it's ingrained to where it's just the way life is. Yeah. I still feel there's going to be a 6 month. We're going to hit a 6 month point, or he's going to be 3 or 3.5, or there's going to be a shift in the way his brain is. And I just want to make sure that we're really consistent with the bedtime routine, because if you have a kid, and I know some of you, this is an issue. If you have a kid that doesn't go to sleep, I feel so sorry for you because I've never had that problem.
No,
it's never been an issue for me, and I absolutely want it to stay that way because it is amazing when you finally get, and you can relate to this part. It is amazing when you finally get your kid to go to sleep at a consistent time every night. How much you look forward to nighttime. Yeah, you're it is nighttime. I can read. I can drink a glass of wine without it getting spilled on me. I can take a bath. All these things. You're just all the things. So I don't want to give up that time. So I'm determined to make sure. But Landon's like a superhero sleeper. We've talked about it. I've talked about it a million times on here. But for books, but I feel like I need to like expand my horizons because I don't really read to Landon during the day. So like, we don't have like a bunch of books for him to like be into like regular reading. But so why did you see? I can't remember what it is now. What did we say? What did I say it was?
Well, basically,
Batman.
we've all been watching. Yeah, we've both been watching Married at First Sight now. So the current season.
Well, yeah, no, but not that because I want to talk about Batman.
Oh, so, Batman. Yeah, before we get there.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of movies that are coming, DC movies that are coming out in 2021. Wonder Woman 2, which is Ashley's freaking favorite person in the world, Jesse Graff, is Wonder Woman's stunt double. So I know Ashley's super excited about that. It was on Jesse Graff's Instagram. The trailer, is that where you watched it?
Yeah, she's not Jesse Graff's stunt woman. She's Jesse Graff's mom's stunt woman.
Jesse Graff is Wonder Woman's mom's
she's Wonder Woman's mom's stunt double.
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, either way.
But yes, I'm very excited.
Yes. So anyway, so she's in Wonder Woman, and then so that movie's coming out, and then Batman, which is the one that kind of caught me because I've seen quite a few previews, like pieces of over because like they've been talking about 1985 for like a couple years now, 4 years now, a long
84.
time. Oh, 1980. Did I say 85?
Yeah,
1984. For like 2 years now, they've been talking about it. So I've seen lots of previews. I did not know, however, that they were making another Batman. First of all, making another Batman, and they changed the Batman again. It is Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is a very interesting. He's never played a superhero.
Interested to see because I've really only ever seen Robert Pattinson in Twilight, and he wasn't like this, you know. He wasn't Batman.
Like, yeah. So I was like, he's gonna be. And honestly, when I watched the preview, I was like, okay, Robert. Like, I mean, obviously, I know he's got a stunt double, but like, they made it to where he seems kind of like badass in it. So I'm hoping that there's it's not Robert Pattinson isn't even the most interesting freaking cast. Colin Farrell plays Penguin, and he is damn near unrecognizable. Like, not damn near unrecognizable. Like, people are, because it came out so it premiered today apparently
at the DC Com or whatever.
Yeah, because they did a virtual DC Com.
Yeah,
and I was looking at it and I was like, because what's funny is I was talking to Blake about it. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna make Colin Farrell, because Colin Farrell is beautiful. So I was like, are they gonna make him like fat and like ugly? Yes, they made him fat and ugly. He looks like because he's got such like a I don't want to say contour. That's not the right word. But like he's got like a very like he's got like high cheekbones and like not sunken, but he's got high cheekbones and like very chiseled facial features. So they literally made his face like really wide. If you have not looked at it, go Google it. Colin Farrell legit. Like you look at them and you're like, that's not Colin Farrell. Like at least when you saw Heath Ledger as the Joker, you could kind of see the Joker in him, like in like you could see. I mean, he was personality wise and voice wise, like if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't hear Heath Ledger. But when you watched it, if you've seen enough movies with Heath Ledger, you saw Heath Ledger, and he's like physically like it's not like they had to completely change his physique. Like he still had long hair, he just had white paint on his face and scars. This is like ridiculous. I was looking at it, I was like, man, these makeup artists need an A+. Like, wow. It was crazy. So that's I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the casting of this movie because DC movies tend to fall real flat for me. Like Shazam,
so flat,
not good. Justice League, meh, right? That was Justice League and Wonder Woman are probably my favorite ones of them. I didn't really like Aquaman all that much.
And
I love Jason Momoa, but
I have not been able to get through it since we saw it in the theater.
I told you and Derek came home like it was good. Like it was not good. It was not very good.
It's like I forgot that it's like 2 whole movies.
Yeah,
like
it was
there's
long
2 separate villains. Like so, I'm like, that's why I haven't been able to. Like I almost want to fast forward past when they have what's the guy with the pokey spear? What's his name? I forget what the villain's name is. But we'll get past that guy. And then move on to like the real villain, which is like his brother or whatever, and like get to that part. Like I feel like they should have like split the 2 movies in half. It's just. So
I remember feeling like in the movie theater, Blake and I were like, "Oh, okay, it's about to be the end," and we're like,
"Just kidding."
barely started. It's not the end. The movie's barely started. So I'm really excited about that. DC, like I said, like Blake and I have still not gotten through Superman Returns. Blake had never seen it, and I tried to watch it with him, and it's long as hell and so slow. So I was like, crap. And so he won't watch Batman. I tried to get him to watch Batman vs Superman, but I haven't given him like rave reviews. So
it's hard to watch because Batman's back gets broken, and then he has to recover or whatever, and then he kills Superman. Well, he doesn't kill him. He almost kills Superman, but he doesn't. And then
he actually does kill Superman, because that's what Justice League starts off as.
No, he didn't. He created the weapon that ends up killing Superman. He didn't physically kill him.
Well, right.
So, but honestly, Justice League, you have to watch that movie just because the way Superman comes back
is pretty gangster.
It's so gangster. Like, he comes back and he's just like my favorite line in the movie is he comes back and he was like, I stand for justice. And it's just like so Superman. It's just like, oh, there's some people I have to go save, and he just like darts away. And I was just like, Superman is like so, because everybody else is so serious. Wonder Woman is so serious. Batman so serious. Aquaman kind of serious. Flash definitely not serious. Cyborg is super serious. And then Superman's just like, what are you guys so upset about? This is going to be fun. Let's go kick some butts, Like,
I just like when in the Superman movies, if they don't make Superman have an ease of like doing things, it's just not realistic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if they try to make him look like he's struggling to do anything, you're like, really? He's not struggling to do anything. Like, unless there's kryptonite around, he's really not struggling to do anything.
He did struggle a little bit to separate the boxes.
He needed Cyborg's help.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that movie was pretty good. I feel like I didn't connect to that movie as much as I did to the
Dark
show.
Knight.
Oh well, yeah. But I mean, I love the Dark Knights, but I don't think Dark Knight wasn't a Warner Brothers film. I don't think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So Wonder Woman and the new Batman are all DC Warner Brothers, which is Warner Brothers is actually who did the shows. So, but they've done so many different Batman has become freaking the Martini, James Bond. They just keep changing the bands, and they haven't really. There's only really been
the Martini.
Yeah, like the Martini, James Bond. What?
I don't understand that association.
What?
I mean, I know he is very snooty,
shaken, not stirred.
Oh, does he say that? Is that how he likes his martinis? Clearly, I haven't seen enough.
You haven't seen the James Bond. Yeah. So anyway, he's that's where the James Bond that martini comes from, is the James Bond film. So hopefully somebody else got that reference. Good Lord.
I feel like it's like a bartender reference or something, like something bartenders know.
Yeah. Yes, he drinks a dry, stirred, not shaken martini.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways. So we can talk about my next Did You See? So check out the Batman. Check out, Ash and I are huge superhero fans. Blake and I are currently watching for the 900th time. But this is the first time we watched them. We actually did skip one movie this time, because we normally skip the Guardians of the Galaxies because we're not huge Guardians of the Galaxy fans. But
they're actually pretty good.
They are pretty good. Blake and I have never watched them together. So we'll have to watch them. We're going to watch them together. We are currently we're watching them in chronological order, because no matter how many times I have watched Endgame, I can never remember where all the stones came from or how we got. And if you miss one movie, you will be lost and confused by the time you get to Endgame. And there was 10 years between Iron Man 1 and Endgame. That's a lot of movies. So we're watching them in order. So the one we are on right now is we're about to watch Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is where they introduce
the Winter Soldier.
No, they don't actually know. Yes, but that's not when they introduced Bucky. Bucky got introduced way in the first Captain America. It's when they introduced oh my god, what is it? What's the freaking movie?
Oh, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you guys cannot see me, I'm doing all the stuff. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's when they introduced him. Is in Winter Soldier, and that's the one that introduces you to that whole next movie. So Winter Soldier's awesome, but the one right before that, chronologically, is Iron Man 3. So I didn't really like Iron Man 3. Is that when his wife has to help him? When Pepper helps rescue him? When she introduced, like, is that the second one? Pepper helps in the second one, sort of. Oh, she introduces, she like takes Shield to go save Iron Man in the second one. He's actually officially dating her in the third one. And it's also when he figures out the science behind be able to remove all the shrapnel. So then his the Iron Man suit isn't powered by him; it's powered just by the arc reactor. Anyway, so we're watching all those again. So pretty excited about that. Anyways, back to my Did You See? So I finally got Ashley to watch Married at First Sight. I think a couple episodes ago, I told you guys that I got her to watch Married at First Sight. It makes me happy because it's one of my favorite shows. And there's been so many seasons. And honestly, as far as dating shows go, I like the format a lot. And I feel like it's a lot more genuine and less produced and less like gimmicky than like The Bachelor or anything like that. So
yeah, I agree.
This season of Married at First Sight, we have 5 couples or 4 couples. Is it 5 or 4?
5, I think.
I think it's 5.
Sure there's 5. There's Bennett and
Amelia.
There is Karen and Miles. Woody and what's her name?
I want to say Tamika, but that's not her name.
Something like that, though. What season is this? 11?
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm I'm like looking at this, like trying to read. Married at First Sight. I guess I should type in cast so that I don't pull up the cast for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you have the season.
You have Amelia and Bennett. You have
right.
I don't have to put my glasses on to read this, guys. Sorry. You're gonna see if you're watching this, you can see the ring light. But okay, so Amelia and Bennett, Amani and Woody, Olivia and Brett, and Christina and Henry. So 4 couples.
4 couples.
Oh wait, no, there's 5 couples. So who's the 5th couple? That was only 4. Who are we missing?
Karen and Miles.
Okay, Woody. So I'm looking at their photos right now. Amelia and Bennett, which we know they're kind of weird. Amani and Woody, which I did not have high hopes for them, but they seem to be doing good. But they are
powering through.
Yes. Olivia and Brett, I have the most concern about them. Yeah. Because he's like the Playboy guy. Christina and Henry, and then Miles and Karen. So yeah.
Okay. So that's 5. So there's 5 couples. So one of the couples, Karen and Miles, they are like kind of like the pretty couple of the group. They're like him and his best friend Woody both went on the show, and they both found their wives. They were able to match them with 2 really great women, I think. Mm-hmm. But in Karen and Miles' situation, she has consistently said, and Madame Noir actually did an article about it because it kind of offended me, so I knew somebody was going to write about it. So yeah, we're not easily offended. I'm not easily offended. So if it triggered me in some way, I was like, I bet you somebody wrote about something about this. So basically, Karen and Miles had this relationship where Miles is a little bit younger than her. He's 26, she's 31, right? He's 26 or 27. She's 31. Yeah. She's our age, and she has had like this history of like getting her heart broken in relationships. He hasn't really said that he's gotten his heart broken. He just says he hasn't found the right person, and he's spent the last 2 years really trying to make himself, like he says this, turn himself into the man that would be a great husband. Like that is like his focus, is to be a fantastic husband. She seems to find that like not manly for some reason. Like he's very open with his emotions. He's very expressive. And she says like, she continues to say things like, well, I really just wanted like a really masculine dude. And like, even before she met him, somebody kind of spilled the tea to her who he was. So she social media stalked him before she even saw him down the aisle. And she mentioned like some clips of him like looking very, like being very emotional and blah, blah. Well, we don't know what he's being emotional about. I mean, I'm sure people probably by now have found his Instagram and looked at his stuff and seen what he was emotional about. But recently in this last week's episode, he opens up to her about the fact that he has been diagnosed this past year with clinical depression. Well, his friend just died, apparently. His best friend died. So after that, he went to therapy, got diagnosed with clinical depression. He's now on medication. He says he's handling it really well. He hasn't had anything he hasn't had anything bad happen.
He hasn't tried to commit suicide or anything.
It's something he deals with and he's handling it. He's a coach for young kids. And he said what that did was when he lost his best friend was that it made him really want to focus in and make sure that all the people in his life that he cares about know that he cares about them.
Yeah.
You would think that she'd be like, that is amazing. Like, that is awesome. That's such a strong way to look at life. Like, I'm so glad you had this epiphany. That would set you up to be a great partner for somebody who's actively wanting to show the person they're with that they love them. Right.
And very self-aware.
And highly self-aware.
Yeah.
Nope. This girl sat there like he just told her he murdered someone. Like, she's just like, well, she didn't say a word. She didn't look at him. She didn't grab his hand. She didn't try to comfort him. She just sat there and was like, well, I'm really glad that it must have been really hard for you to share this with me. Yeah, it was. And then she says that to him. And then on her interview, she was like, well, I just really wanted, and maybe they edited it wrong, but I doubt it, because unless they just edited two pieces together, it was kind of one long thought. She said that she just felt like she really wanted somebody that was masculine, and he's too emotional, basically. And she's never had anybody in her life that, she's never had any friends or anybody, or let alone dated anybody that, has depression, and she just doesn't. And then she associated that with masculinity. And I was just like, what does him having a mental illness that was triggered by his friend dying have to do with his masculinity in any way, shape, or form?
So I have so many thoughts. First thing I think is important to point out is that they are.
Oh, this is our top. This is our topic, by the way. So our topic is masculine, is general masculinity and what we feel is masculinity, but also how masculinity is defined in the African American culture, African American community, and then how we would raise our children, our sons, to be masculine, quote unquote, masculine men, and what we find that definition to be for them. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, basically. So what I was going to say was that it's important that, they are a Black couple. There's two Black couples on there. And there is kind of this sense of two things. One, masculinity can be very, in the Black community can typically be very toxic. Now, there's been a lot of women and people and men that are fighting that stigma in general, because it's not just the Black community, it's the Latin community. There's all, there's plenty, it's not just us, basically. But if you look up the definition of masculine, it basically says somebody that has traditionally masculine traits. It doesn't even have a definition. There's not a list of this is this. So
really?
That's basically what it says? The most. Well, it says, okay, so literally if I'm reading it, it says having qualities or appearances traditionally associated with men, especially strength and aggressiveness. That right there, the man is clearly strong. What she thinks he's lacking in my personal opinion, is the aggressive part. Which to me, aggression is negative. Being driven, taking initiative, those are positive. Being aggressive to me is not a positive thing. So I'm it's sort of confusing to me, because I think it's very annoying that she keeps saying that this man is not masculine. He carries it.
The thing is too, she's never said it to him. So I feel like Miles is gonna be super upset when he sees it after the season ends, and maybe they work it out and they stay together. But if he sees that she's been telling everybody that he's not masculine, especially after he told her that he has he's been battling depression, and she goes to the camera and is like, well, I just really wanted somebody that was masculine. That just it makes her sound like a horrible person. She just sounds like
But what I don't get is, like, she was saying she didn't think he was masculine. Like, she was not really. Okay, so if you guys watch the season, episode 1, she was saying she told the producers she wasn't sure she wanted to go through with it because he's too emotional, and that's not what she wanted. Like, she is literally getting in her wedding dress, stops to talk to the producers, and basically saying, "I don't want to be with this guy. He's too emotional." And it's like, I'm just so confused. Like, and she, watching the season, she obviously associates masculinity with emotion, the lack of emotion, in my opinion. And I don't think that's right. Like, we should not be, like, you just, and honestly, I think she just wants a guy that's a kind of an asshole. He doesn't want to communicate. Like, typical masculine features that a lot of women are like, man, it would just be so nice if he would communicate. Man, it would just be so nice if he was sweet and caring and bought me flowers and carried my luggage and was just laughed and enjoyed life and was just sweet. That's what he is. So I'm so confused. Like, so you want the opposite of that? You want a guy that's like, no, bitch, carry your own suitcases. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, I'm just so confused. Like, I feel like there's so many women across the country that are watching this going, hey, you want to sign me up? Like, I'll date him. Like, you could, if you don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, so in our life, Derek is, to me, very masculine. He's also very emotional. And he's also, like, he's naturally just very sweet and caring. To me, it's the most masculine thing when you do sweet things for your person. Yeah. Like, that's not a feminine thing. As for me, if I was buying Derek flowers and doing things like that, that would make me feel masculine, if that makes sense. Like, that to me is like a man thing. Like, not that I don't buy him stuff, but I'm not going and buying him flowers. I'm not going.
But I don't know many straight men that would be like, I think Blake would think that was super weird if I bought him flowers. He'd be like, first of all, you know I hate flowers. They die. So why would you buy? It's like, it would just be like ignoring like this basic like desires and needs of your partner to buy, like, for us to buy our men flowers. That would be so weird.
Yeah. Unless he liked them. And which he did. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a girl thing. You like flowers? Like, no, I'd be like, maybe that was something he did with his mom. Like, maybe they gardened or something, and like he just loves flowers. Like, Derek is an amazing flower arranger. That's why he's so good at buying me flowers, because he can make a beautiful flower arrangement.
Yeah, Blake too. Like, he can literally take, like, he'll go to like the Walmart and get, like, I'll find like 3 different bags of, like, he'll hide them in the trunk. It'll be like 3 different bags. It's like, when did you get it? He's like, oh, that was a bouquet of flowers. I was like, it's 3 different bouquets that you arranged into this beautiful, like. So yeah, I mean, and I couldn't arrange the flowers if it smacked me in the face. Like, I'm like, I mean, they look fine. Like, yeah. And somebody be like, well, that's very feminine. Like, no, it's not feminine when it's something that I love. I love flowers. I'm just not very good at arranging flowers. Blake is. He knows this. So that's something that I appreciate about him. I feel like for me, like, with Blake, I wouldn't say Blake's like super emotional, because he's not really that, like, he's not hyper emotional. I'm more sensitive, like, about things than Blake is. But the things that are super, like, masculine about him are like his drive, and, like, you know, he's a fantastic father. He's a great partner. He adjusts to me, like, because I feel like I have a lot of, like, requirements and things, and he has done a really good job of adjusting to those things and learning from me and what I want in a relationship, and, like, you know, all those things. So to me, that's like, I mean, that's a partner. That's what I need in our relationship. So for somebody to be like, well, I would rather him just sit there. I would rather have to pull his teeth out one by one to get him to communicate with me. And I really genuinely, like, it annoys me, because I, like, want to root for them, because I feel like if she could just get her head out of her butt, that they would have a really great relationship, because it's his, like, he's really, really focused. Like, that's what he really wants. He wants her to want to be with him.
Yeah. And he wants to make her happy. Yeah. Like, he wants her to be happy. And I think she's so, and that's one of the things about Married at First Sight that's interesting, is that I feel like a lot of these women bring a lot of baggage to these relationships. And sometimes the men seem to be coming into the just like, I just want her to be happy, like, whatever it takes. And the women are just like, like, and they start talking about, like, their relationships, and they're just like, yeah, like, in Karen's situation, her last boyfriend, she was with him for 4 or 5 years, and he ended up having a kid with some other lady. Like, yeah, that's very, very scarring. But that dude, what you can't, if you look back at that relationship, you can't tell me that that relationship was just perfect and you were perfect and y'all were perfect. And then he just went out here and had it. No, that is not the reality. Nobody's out here making babies with other people and not just making a baby. Like, he had a full-blown relationship with her because he's so happy. And you're just over here just with your not paying attention to what's going on. And it's like,
and she just thought that his lack of, like, that's probably the thing that blinded her to it, because she just thought that that's apparently the way she's supposed to be treated. And like, and he was probably giving all this attention and all this like care and stuff to this other chick he had the baby with and not giving it to her. And she's thinking that that's the way it should be. And that's not. So what do you think? So we talked about our relationship. We talked about our relationships. We talked a little bit about the African-American culture a little bit. We talked more about like in culture in general in the African-American culture for men. There are two things they hate doing: going to the doctor, therapy. I'm gonna name three. Going to the doctor and therapy, I guess. They kind of all go together. Going to the doctor and therapy and like really expressing their emotions, feeling vulnerable, vulnerable because they don't want to be seen as weak, right? I feel like it takes a lot of strength to be emotional. It's a lot easier to be mad. It's a lot easier to be angry all the time. It's a lot easier to do that. It's a lot easier. It's way harder to allow yourself to be in a calm, vulnerable place where you're communicating your genuine feelings, and even with the fear of like being hurt or not hearing what you want to hear. That takes a lot more strength than just like, you could be angry and just stomp off. That's easy.
And being sad takes a lot of strength, because when you feel like you're sad, that you feel sort of like you've given up the power to whatever it is that's making you sad, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think with Phoenix, like, it's very important to me that I let him, because I wouldn't say like I'm a super ridiculously emotional person, but I am very expressive with whatever emotion that I'm feeling, right? And with Phoenix, I'm very much like, there's levels. I'm not out here just like, let him just do all the throw whatever. But like, I've said this, I think I said this a while back. If Phoenix was throwing a temper tantrum, I have multiple times let him just throw everything he wants to throw within reason. Like, I'm not going to let him throw the Google. I'm not going to let him throw anything at me or try to pick up the whole mattress and throw it or something ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But if he wants to throw stuffed animals, throw them. Like, people seem to think that's, and you know, Derek and I've had this conversation before, but some people find that that's wrong. And I'm like, grown people go and punch a freaking 100-pound sandbag for hours to deal with their emotions. You know what I'm saying? People go to the gym and lift weights for 2 hours to maintain their emotional, like, to deal with their emotions. Why am I expecting my 4-year-old to just have all this emotional control? It takes years and years, and some people don't ever get control of their emotions. You know what I'm saying? It takes a long time to develop that. I'm not expecting that level of control from my 4-year-old. But what I am saying is, like, he throws everything, and it's gotten to the point where, like, Phoenix calms down real quick. And there's a lot of times where I'm just like, you know what? You sit over here. You deal with that. Whenever you're done, I'm over here for all the hugs and snuggles and kisses. But I'm not going to sit here and let you scream at me and kick me and hit me or whatever it is going. I'm going to move. You stay here. Deal with that. And then I'm going to go over here. And somebody's like, no, don't leave me sitting here. I'm like, why would I want to sit next to you right now when you're acting like that? Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. But my point is, I want him to express his emotions, because if he doesn't express them, how can I teach him to deal with them? I can't.
Yeah.
If I'm always like, stop crying, stop yelling, stop this. I mean, well, yelling is one that I say stop to, but like, stop crying, stop being upset, stop being angry, stop whatever the emotion is. I'm never going to tell him stop being happy. You know? Like, he needs to like learn how to deal with them in an appropriate way. And so I think that, to me, that's like, and when it comes to traditionally masculine, we're pretty traditional over here. I expect somebody to open a door for me at some point. If it's Derek or Phoenix, one of them is opening a door. I'm not going to like stand and not go through the door. But like, you know, Derek, he opens the door for me. He will open the side. Phoenix or Derek will open the car door for me. Phoenix lets women go first. To me, it's just a level of respect. And it's not that like, oh, she can't do it. It's just that, to me, that's respectful. You know, traditional or not, whatever you want to say about it, to me, those are masculine traits that I look for. And it's also a respect thing that I look for as well. So what about you with Landon? I know he's still little, but...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Landon is definitely very much emotional. Not quite. I feel like he's emotional. I mean, he's not quite. I feel like Phoenix is like very emotional about things. Landon is more like he mimics whatever emotions that I have. Like, he's learned a lot of like his emotional responses from me, which aren't always best. So like when I'm like say it's like if I'm like mad at Blake about something, like I am just like, if Landon is mad at me about something, he's like, no, and like just I'm like, okay, you need to chill. Sit down, stop yelling no at me, because I'm like, but it's funny because, and I have to learn to like, I really need to learn to focus that energy also in a relationship. When Landon's super upset about something, I'm instantly calm. And I don't really give that same grace to Blake, because I'm like, you're an adult and you should you should know, and like Landon's too, and he can't do it. And I really should have more grace for Blake in that. I really should like probably meditate on that and like really like think, like work through that. But when it comes to Landon, I want him to feel like expressing your emotions, expressing how you feel about things, verbally expressing them, but in a healthy way, whether it's writing them down or in an artistic way, or whether it's like working out or whatever way, like he has a focused way to release his emotions and something that is productive, because there's so much power in emotion that circles around people all day. And if it was centrally focused on something, like instead of your sadness, and this, I deal with this, instead of your sadness or your stress or something shutting you down, if you were to center and focus it on something that could help your growth in some way, that's what I want. I feel like those are all things that like, emotional intelligence is something that I feel like is super masculine. As far as like sports and stuff like that, I really don't care. I mean, I want Landon to play sports because I love sports. It doesn't have anything to do with like, I think boys should play sports. No, I like, Blake was in gymnastics. If Landon wanted to do gymnastics, that's great. That's physically awesome for him. Like, it takes discipline. I just want him to be involved in something that takes discipline for him. I would have the same requirements if we had a daughter. Her butt would be in soccer or whatever, lacrosse, whatever. Something that like at an early age taught discipline. Another thing that I find just like a positive trait, not really masculine or feminine. Am I completely fluid in my thoughts on what masculinity and femininity are? Not really. But do I feel like I feel like wearing makeup is a feminine thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a feminine thing. Do I feel like men can't wear makeup? No. If that's your thing, wear makeup. But that to me is a feminine thing. I do feel like there's some things that I'm like traditionally like, that's feminine. But when it comes to Landon, I think that I just want him to like be his best person and just teach him and like show him an example that is a healthy example of a household leader and, you know, a partner for whoever his partner is, woman, whatever. But I just want him to like be a strong partner. In order to be a strong partner, you have to be communicative. So I feel like if we put these like boxes on, yes, everybody has their mindset of what they think are male, like what they think are male or feminine things, right? If we put too much of a box on it to where nobody can squeeze out of it a little bit on what like the box is, because if we were 1950s, the man is the person that does all the woman does all the housework. No matter what else she has going on in life, she has to do all the housework. So anything else, career, any kind of other goals, nothing else, everything comes behind doing the housework. Well, I feel like the housework should be something that's split, unless we like agree that we have like a housekeeper that comes. But I'm not trying to do like you're grown. Say with Landon, you're grown. I don't care if we raise you with a housekeeper. Your butt's gonna know how to do laundry. Your butt's gonna know how to do the dishes. You're gonna have to mow the lawn. You're gonna have to take the dog out. You're gonna have to clean out. You're gonna have to have chores and responsibilities. Another thing that I feel like is those you could be like, well, these chores are masculine, taking out the trash. But if I had a daughter, I still have to teach her the same responsibilities of chores as anybody else. So she's my only kid. Her butt's taking out the trash. Her butt's doing the laundry. Her butt's going to clean after the dog. Like, you know? So I just, whatever it is, whether it's masculine or feminine for Landon, I just want it to be like, I just want it to be whatever, however I focus it, something that helps him grow into the best person and the best partner he can be and the best human he can be. I don't think I think one of those huge things about it is just emotional intelligence is like such an important thing. And it's something that we like, a lot of people think that is something that we don't want men. We expect men to have it, but we don't allow them to express it at all.
Yeah. And I think if we kind of like close this a little bit. I think that the big thing, what you said about like not putting it all in a box is important, because like while I don't think there's anything wrong with there being traditionally masculine traits, I think that it's unfair to be basically to like take away the masculinity, like taking it away from men by saying you're not all of these things, so you're not masculine. Because that's not fair. Like there are plenty of people that are gay, there are plenty of people that are straight, there are plenty of people that are queer, that would traditionally, if you just looked at them, would be like, oh, they're very masculine. Which there's nothing wrong with it. And or very feminine. Nothing wrong with it.
We used Kamaro as an example from Queer Eye.
Karamo.
When we were talking, what did I say? Karamo, from Queer Eye. And he is genuinely like a super masculine dude. Like he was an ex-football player. He's got 2 sons. He's like a man, like a dude's dude. Like he's that guy. He also dances. He also dresses in drag. He also like he's also gay. Like he does he's like part of these groups that we like put in boxes that we like, well, that makes you less masculine. No. He's super masculine dude. He just has other things that he's like, he thinks are super cool and he's into and excite him. Yeah. So again, you can't, I feel like it's not fair to just like change your opinion about masculinity based on things that you may not understand or may not be something that you're interested in. I think I don't understand why
masculinity doesn't, in their situation, Maz and Kara's situation, masculinity to me has nothing to do with it. I think that it's her scars from her past relationship, and the only thing she can say is, I don't think he's masculine enough. And I think that it comes from, and honestly, I think it comes from a place of pain that she's used to having these relationships with these guys that are emotionally unavailable, whatever, and that emotional unavailability is what attracted her to them.
Yeah,
which is not healthy.
She liked the chase, and she liked the having to like, which is weird because she just seems like I don't see her chasing down a dude. She may have some like, because she seemed very, very calm throughout this entire process, except for when she cried at the altar. But she's just very calm, very soft-spoken, very chill. And it a little concerns me because either she's going to snap at some point during this process, like he's going to do something and she's just going to go ham on him. And you're like, where did that crap come from? Like, you need to take it down. Or she's just staying very, very guarded, and you'll start seeing her like hopefully start opening up if she's open to it, because I'm not sure
how open she is.
Yeah, with Greg and Dana, is that her name? It started with a D.
Last season, yeah.
Yeah, so Greg's wife, I cannot remember her name right now, starts with a D. She was kind of similar in like the emotional unavailability, and she was super aware of it and willing to adjust to it. She knew she was that way. She knew why. She did the work, and she was like, but I want to be emotionally available to my husband. I want him to know who I am. So she made herself available.
And they
worked. I think Karen is just kind of like waiting for him to show her something and not really opening herself up to like.
But what else does she want him to show? What does she want him to show her? Like, okay, we can't talk about this the entire time.
Yeah. Regardless, I feel like, I guess to sum up my point of view on masculinity, I really feel like there's no real definition of it. I feel like the things that traditionally people find less masculine are things that as a grown woman, you appreciate in a man. Like you appreciate a man that's like emotionally available, very communicative, helps with the housekeeping, helps with the organization of the bills, helps with the the child rearing. Like you appreciate a man that does that because he's supposed to be your partner and you want a partner in life.
Yeah.
Those are traditionally female traits, whatever. But when you become, I feel like as a woman in a relationship I've known Blake for 6 years, almost 4 years together, you appreciate those things when you have a kid and you're in a partnership. And so I feel like those are the most masculine things about him, the things that make us a better partnership.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think it's just not putting it in a box and letting our sons know that there's different levels and that there's not real one definition of masculinity, in my opinion. So, but that said, we're getting over our time here, but let us know what you guys think about masculinity. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think of this situation? If you watch Married at First Date, what do you think of the situation with Karen and Miles? Did you agree with her that you think that he's not masculine, or were you on our side where you think that like she needs to chill out? Let us know. Do you have a go girl or a no girl this week?
I thought I'd go. Do you have one?
Yeah. Okay. So my go girl this week is I did 7 days of workouts in a row after recovering from my back hurting. So last week, if you guys listen, I hurt my back. And I was like literally icing it. So I recovered from that and I worked out 7 days in a row, which was great. I feel really good. I was just starting to get sore yesterday. So I took a rest day yesterday. And then I went ahead and went this morning, as we're recording it Sunday morning. So I'm doing really good. I also meal prepped this week. So woo, those are my go girls for this week. My no girl, I don't really have like a moment where I was like, dang, this week, like, you're doing too much. I don't think so. I failed.
Mine was, my go girl is that, so we actually just switched. It's more like go team than go girl because we switched Landon. We hid the Paw Patrol potty. So the Paw Patrol potty has been retired. So we are switching to whatever phase this is of potty training this week. So Landon, and he has been killing it. It's just a matter of like, I know this is a thing with a lot of like 2-year-olds, is when Landon is naked running around the house, he goes straight, when he has to go to the bathroom, he goes straight to the bathroom. If I put him in a diaper and he's just like laying, like watching his tablet, his lazy butt will just sit there and just fill the diaper up. And I'm like, why have you not gotten up and go to the bathroom? I know you know to go to the bathroom. He has decided that he doesn't like to poop in the diaper, so he will not. So he will have a full wet diaper and be like, poop, and want us to take off the wet diaper so he can go poop in the potty. So that's a step. That's a step. So so Blake and I got really tired of the dog eating the poop. With the kitty, like, we don't want the cat to fall in Landon's pee. That's gross. And also, I don't, like, he's pooping like a grown man now. So I'm not trying to
big old poops.
wipe out, like, dump it and then wipe out the poop. No. And then it was kind of getting gross. Like, we actually ran it through the dishwasher because it had gotten like gross. So I was like, I'm not trying to clean it. Like, I already have to wipe your butt. I don't have to wipe the potty and your butt. And like, no. So we have switched. So he has a step, has a little toy, and he is killing it. Like, it's on like a little hook, his little seat adapter. So he raises the toilet seat up by himself. He pulls the potty thing off the hook. He puts it on the toilet, steps onto the step, sits down, does his potty, and gets off, flushes the toilet. So we need to incorporate the hand washing but he can't really reach even if he was on a step, his arms don't reach out far enough to like the faucet. So, but yay! So that was really exciting.
That's awesome.
My no girl would probably be that, like, I haven't been like killing it on the intermittent fasting. I decided to instead of putting myself in a mindset, we talked about mindset, in a mindset that I was like failing at it or that I wasn't doing well at it. I just adjusted my time. So I think I'm doing 12 on, 12 off, just because it's just kind of mental torture in the morning to like not.
It's hard to cook for somebody.
It's hard to cook for Landon twice before I can eat. Like, that is rough life. Like, I'm just like, and so I'm just like not eating after 8 now. So I adjusted my intermittent fasting, but we'll see how that works out.
Goes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us know what your go girl or no girl was this week. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Let us know at 5th star and let us know what you think. Leave a review or a comment. And like we said at the top of this episode, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. And we'd love to hear from you guys and interact with us on our social media at Twin Life Podcast. And we have an email address as well that's twinlifepodcast@gmail.com. And then we have our social medias. If you look down in the description, you will see the links to all of our social medias, as well as all of the ways you can listen. And yeah, we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And we will talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.